I'm good. Just enjoying the World Cup.
Yeah.
Japan. Fucking Pearl Harbored.
Bonsai.
Fucking Pearl Harbored, Colombia.
Hell yeah. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Sneak.
Sneak attack. Oh no, they're going to get us. Yeah, man. Have you?
It was great.
I know, 2-1. I was shocked. I don't like Jaime or however you pronounce his name. I don't like him.
No, James Rodriguez.
He's good. I just think he's a touch overrated.
Maybe. I mean, he showed up at the last World Cup.
Oh yeah, he was great, and then he got
once he went to Real Madrid, though, like he kind of disappeared because there's so many more talented people there.
But then he did okay, I guess, at Byron last year. But I mean, who knows?
Yeah, but he wasn't standout.
Yeah, I look at him the same way like I look at Isco. Like, I'm not a big Isco dude.
Isco's great.
I don't – there's just something about him
Isco's pushing Iniesta off the field.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think – well, it doesn't help that Iniesta is like 70 years old.
Yeah.
But there's just something about Isco. Like, I know he's got all the tools and stuff, but I just feel like there's just something about him. I just feel like his finishing sucks, or like his finishing in big games just isn't good. I mean – he didn't play very well.
He's not really a finisher. That's not really his role, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a fan.
Like he's a setup man, kind of like Xavi was.
Yeah. I don't know. I always feel like he puts himself in position to score lots of goals, but he never scores goals. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, but he does enough other stuff to where
I guess
it makes up for it.
You're right.
I mean, maybe not so much with Spain because Spain isn't as dominant. Yeah, as Real Madrid is. Like with Real Madrid, he's perfect because you put him in there next to Luka Modric. It's a pretty powerful midfield.
Mm.
And both teams have Asensio too, and I don't even think he's played yet in this World Cup. That kid is pretty good.
I think he played a little bit today, but I'm not sure. Today's game, that game was good. Like, Iran was defending like madmen.
I watched it DVR'd because it's on when I was at work. And, everything I saw before I watched it was, Spain dominated possession. They had like 500-something more passes than Iran did. And I was like, oh, boy, this is going to be boring. No. I started watching. I was like, Iran is kicking their ass.
Iran, I mean, like, they had two really big chances to score, and they missed by like a fraction. There was that. There was when that dude nutmegged Piqué, and then that one right before he scored, it was awesome. Right before Costa scored, the guy, I don't know his name, the Iranian dude, missed by like a fraction. It was nuts.
Yeah.
Iran played good, man.
Portugal better watch out. They could get leapfrogged.
They could. Because, I mean, Morocco's done. They got nothing to play for. I mean, and Iran.
Morocco's good.
Yeah. That's a tough group.
That's a tough group.
I mean, Russia got what? Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and who else is in that group? I don't even know.
Russia had gone like 10 games without winning before the World Cup, and they totally rushed up.
Yeah.
And they didn't even, like, they beat who is it? Saudi Arabia 5-0.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even. It was much closer than that.
Yeah.
Like they easily could have lost that game.
It was good, man. So far, so good. A lot of upsets.
Yeah. What do you think, Mark Twain?
Well, as a man could watch a football game from the riverboat and not worry about such nonsense as a Russian coming out and whooping up on a Portuguese man and what two men do in the privacy of their own room is their own business, whether it's in Russia or Spain or Man City.
Or Man City.
They don't allow that in Russia.
Mm-mm. I got to tell you, though, David Silva looked great today for Spain. The guy's just so good. So much quality.
Speaking of looking good, there's a lot of handsome dudes in the World Cup.
I know. I was listening to an episode of Ben. You should check out the manager for Morocco. I was listening to.
Yeah.
Did you hear him on Dan Le
Like
Batard talking?
Lannister.
Did you hear him talking on Le Batard?
Oh no.
It was hilarious. It was so funny. They went on for like 3 segments about how hot the guy from Monaco is, how they're feeling weird things.
You said Monaco.
Yeah,
I thought
Monaco.
Morocco.
No, Morocco.
It is
It's Morocco.
Morocco.
Oh,
But I think he's a French fella.
Yeah.
He's very handsome.
Hervé Renard.
Yes, very handsome. Sounds like that's a Star Trek name if I've ever heard one. Hey, how you doing? I'm Hervé Renard from the planet Bajor. Nice to meet you.
Maybe there's a better picture, but he just
He's kind of an older gentleman.
Yeah.
But,
he's got a
he's a
rugged-
gentleman.
Yeah.
No, he's got that.
He's like an older Jamie Lannister.
Yes,
I can see that.
totally see that.
Yeah.
Especially the one shot I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, or the bad guy from Shrek 3. I think I saw somebody post something like that. Prince Charming, right? Wasn't he the bad guy from Shrek 3?
That's me.
Oh, actually, there you go. Somebody's actually made that
Whoa.
connection.
Oh, yeah, look. I'd say that's
Yeah.
close. Oh, totally. Look at that.
And that was the picture that I was looking at when you had said that, and I was like, yeah.
I think he's
And
one of those
then-
people who looks better in motion than he
He's
does
a
in
good
still photo.
like Kate, Princess Kate or whatever her name is.
Oh, Kate Middleton?
She looked fine when she moving, Jack. When she's standing still, not so much, baby.
Yeah.
Is it one of those light things?
Why is my screen gigantic, Ben? How do I get my screen back to normal size?
I don't
It's
know.
huge.
Genetics.
Exit full screen. There we go. It's huge, I tell you. Huge. It's huge, I tell you. All right. So welcome to episode, what is this? 283 of Dork Trek. We watch and review Star Trek. We're up to Deep Space Nine. This is season 4, episode 12, I think. It's called Crossfire.
Yeah, starring Paul Bagala, Robert Novak.
I'm the only one who got that.
I got the joke. It's the old CNN show.
Yeah.
Crossfire.
I got it. They used to do the sketch on SNL about it. Now that
Pat
was the
Buchanan.
McLaughlin group. Wasn't the McLaughlin group similar? And wasn't he the original host?
McLaughlin Group. That was Phil Hartman would be would be John McLaughlin.
No, it was Dana Carvey. Dana Carvey was what's his name?
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
way back.
Yeah, look it up. Dana Carvey was McLaughlin. Yeah, it was Dana
Back
Carvey.
when McLaughlin
Okay.
group jokes
I can see that.
relevant.
Yeah, now not so much.
Yeah, because he's dead.
But now every news program is that.
Yeah.
Just little rectangle pictures yelling at each other.
Let's go around the circle.
You're an
How
idiot.
Dennis
can
the Man,
Because
Bingo Dangle. What's your say? Yeah.
see, it all happened when it changed from a newsroom to a boardroom, and they had to sell ads instead of distribute information.
It's
It's the end
true.
of America, man.
Dennis,
Deep, man.
I mean, but that kind of goes for, that's a metaphor for every business in America, whether you're talking about
Yeah.
hospitals or medicine or dentistry or anything. Like once profit got involved, the Ferengis took over and it all went to shit.
Yeah, I'm not saying capitalism's bad or anything like that, but there are some industries where it can be pretty damaging.
Yeah, like medicine.
Journalism is one.
Yeah.
Medicine's another.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, every man, woman, and child in this country, vote for me. I'll cut a check. I'll do it right now.
This
I have a
episode, this episode, Crossfire, is, I was telling Stephanie, it's like John Hughes' Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like this is Pretty in Pink, you know? That's all I just.
This was high school for me, actually.
Yeah, Odo's Ducky, right?
Pretty and Changeling.
Yeah, pretty in Bajor. It's 16 candles. It's every movie. It's every one of them. Nerdy guy wants
16 wormholes.
I was telling Stephanie, all you need to hear is like, say na 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 na.
St. Cisco's Fire.
St. Cisco's Fire, dude. I mean, this is that episode. Like, it's perfect.
Right then.
So how about that soccer game?
I mean, I don't mean, did I jump the gun there with the review or whatever? Or
No, I don't know. I guess. Not that you jumped the gun. I guess it's pretty accurate.
I mean, I'd say it's pretty spot on, right? I mean,
yeah. No, yeah, got it. Nailed it in one.
We see the episode kind of revolves around a handsome Bajoran Canadian. He's clearly Canadian. Like, there's no other way around it.
Well,
yeah, this is the dude that they were running around in the hills with before.
Yeah, Shakar.
Yeah.
Well, this was also the dude that used to bang Crusher's grandma.
Huh?
Oh yeah, he's a rape ghost.
That's right. We talked about this. That's right. He's rape ghost.
Yep.
Damn, this dude gets around.
Ronan.
Banging all the Star Trek O's.
That's right, baby. He'd be getting him in.
So I mean, that's a pretty short list of people who banged Crusher's grandma, Crusher, and Kira Nerys.
So that means Kira Nerys, Crusher, and Crusher's grandma are Eskimo sisters?
As best I can tell, yes.
That's pretty hot.
Is that the official term for it? Eskimo sisters?
Yeah, I mean, it's Eskimo bros, right? I mean,
I think there has to be another term, though, for chicks.
I think there's got to be something different.
no, Eskimo. Why, Dennis? I live in a post-gender society, bro. They're Eskimo sisters. Or they're just Eskimos. Not natives of the tundra in Alaska, but they're chicks who bang the same dude.
Yeah.
I know I sounded surprised when you mentioned that he was Ronan from Rape Ghost, but I forgot that. So I'm as surprised as I am right now. So,
It's funny because he only looks marginally different.
Well, he doesn't have the
Like
Dutch
his hair.
boy.
His hair was a little different,
Yeah.
and he has an earring in this one.
Yeah,
So.
he doesn't
Other
have the
than
Dutch
that.
boy
Silver
haircut.
hair, and he's got the nose deal going on.
And I tell you what, not to
He
offend.
kind of looks like Morocco's manager.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to say, Kieran Reese's vagina is the home to many powerful Bajoran men. I'll tell you that.
What is it with her and Bajoran leaders? Oh, he's the political leader? Bang him. He's the spiritual leader?
Bang him, too. Oh, he's the finance.
You know, Kai Wynnt's trying to get some of that too.
I think her bedroom might need to look into some Jeffersonian politics and have a separation of church and state. You can't be doing both.
I mean, I'll give it to her, though. I mean, she likes to put out for very powerful men.
I mean, I'm going to go slut shamer.
Oh, not at all.
Good on you. Congratulations.
Get it.
Congratulations. On.
Because we learn in this episode that Shakar became the leader of the Bajoran people. So that worked out well for him. And that's cool because he had mentioned in the first episode we saw him in where they were stealing farming equipment that he was indeed going to try to become. He was throwing his name into the ring.
Minister.
So apparently he won the election to become first minister.
And I totally forgot that.
Yeah.
So.
Which is cool. They have good recall on this show, which is nice because when you come from TNG where they mention things and they're never seen again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that ongoing stuff. The thing that got me, I had not been on the show. I mean, last week was my first time back for like ever.
Uh-huh.
And so the episode, was it The Adversary, where the other changeling was on the ship, and Odo had to fight him or something. I can't remember exactly. So that episode, and between now and then, Dax made Lieutenant Commander, and I missed that.
Really?
Because tonight she's standing there at the airlock, and she's got her Lieutenant Commander pips on. I'm like, wait.
I didn't even notice that.
It was sometime between The Adversary and The Way of the Warrior.
Why would they do that, like mid-season with no reference to it at all?
No, it was. I guess it had to be over the season break because The Adversary was the 26th episode of third season.
You hadn't been on in that long?
No. I hadn't seen her rank or paid attention to it.
Oh.
So sometime between the end of third season and Way of the Warrior, which you guys did without me. But that Way of the Warrior was the first time that she had it. But since I wasn't here, I didn't notice it then. So she picked it up sometime between then and now, or then in the end of third season in Way of the Warrior.
Okay.
Which I don't know when Way of the Warrior was. What was that?
It wasn't that the first episode of the fourth season?
Was it started 49011. So I guess, yeah. So sometime.
But Cisco got promoted right at the beginning of the season, this season, right? Or was it last season?
No, he got promoted at the beginning of this season. So maybe they just gave everybody promotions.
No, I thought she got promoted last season. Or he got promoted last season.
Was it the end of third season where Cisco made rank?
Might be. Yeah, because that's right before they went to the Delta Quadrant, because the ambassador was there.
That's right. They gave him
But
rank.
he was a changeling. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
right.
They gave him rank thinking he wasn't. Yep, newly promoted, the adversary. Yep, that's it. So I guess they gave everybody rank. But maybe they gave him rank thinking like, that motherfucker ain't going to live. So it's cool.
He ain't making it back.
We'll just kill his ass. Hey, what? You know what? He's a captain. Yeah, whatever. Captain. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Captain of the dead guys.
Yeah.
Cisco. Well, you made it back. Oh, good to see you, man. What the fuck? Now he's the captain. He's so crazy and weird.
How do you make them uncaptains?
What are we going to do?
Oh, that was a temporary. That was a like testing out captain.
It was a field promotion.
Yeah, we didn't mean that.
It was a brevet captain.
Yeah, we meant to make Julian captain. Yeah. You must have got your motherfucking communications crossed, baby.
Wait, let's ask Captain Dax what her opinion was. I'm not.
You're the captain of the heart now, baby. But yeah, so
Caught me off guard. That's all.
that's okay. I didn't even notice it because I was too busy. I was too excited for Shakar because I like that dude. He's all like, he's portraying an alien, but he's very much Canadian, like just in his mannerisms and like, oh yeah.
I believe he's from Alberta, right?
Oh, he's totally Canadian. Like, yeah, he's the most Canadian dude I've ever seen because every Canadian, if you've never had the chance to interact with Canadians and I mean actual Canadians, not black people.
Like from Moose Jaw.
This is how they act. They're just like, oh yeah. Oh, I don't know. Should I tell her? Oh, maybe if I do tell her, it'll help her get over her dead boyfriend, eh? It's like, no, Canadian dude. I don't see how that's going to work.
No. I seem to be upsetting you. I'm sorry.
Oh,
sorry about that.
Oh no. Oh.
Hey, let's play the joining the Federation. We should play the Bajoran national anthem. Coo 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 coo. Coo 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 coo.
Oh yeah.
Or am I the only one that remembers that?
No, you're doing the McKenzie brothers.
Yes. Right there, Hoosers.
We just mentioned Joe Flaherty on Twitter back and forth, saying the guy from Babylon 5 looks like Joe Flaherty.
A Joe Flaherty character for sure.
With the weird haircut, Dennis, do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so, yeah.
Londo Malari.
He looks like Joe Flaherty, like when Joe Flaherty played the horror movie show host.
Yeah. But he has a cheesy Transylvania accent. Or when you said Joe Flaherty, I was like, and he totally is doing a Joe Flaherty accent.
Like, I don't know. Everybody be watching Babylon 5. I've never seen it, but I saw
Did it just get released somewhere?
Yeah, on Amazon.
Out on Amazon Prime.
Oh.
Yeah. It's well, that was the thing. So when it first came out, it came out around the same time as DS9.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched the first 2 seasons and then went off to the Navy, and I actually saw more of Babylon 5 than DS9 because for some reason AFN played it more.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's probably cheaper.
Yeah, it was also part of the PETN. What was it? The Prime Entertainment Network or Entertainment Television Network or something. Anyway, so I got to about the beginning of 3rd season, watching first run, and then AFN doesn't show it, or I'm underway, or blah blah blah, fall off, and I only get to see bits and pieces after that. When I start doing Power Geeks podcast, the original one way back when, somebody gifted us 1 year of Netflix streaming for free.
Ooh,
which is how I started that addiction. So I got it, and holy smokes, Babylon 5 is on. So I was like, let me start from the beginning and I'll rewatch it. I got just until like literally where I had stopped watching it the first time, and they took it because I didn't know they took shows off Netflix, and they took it off. So I've now restarted rewatching it, and it's opening up some old wounds.
Hey, here's a tip for you, Ben. Skip the stuff you've already seen. Just go ahead and hurry up and get to the parts you haven't seen yet before Bezos changes his mind.
He's world building, bro. He's world building.
It's 10 years since I saw this shit, man. I gotta get back into the zone and get in the flow.
I remember Babylon 5 being on TNT for a while. Do you remember that?
5th season.
Yeah.
They switched from being an independent production to TNT production.
Like, that was a big deal, I guess. People were like, ooh, Babylon 5. And I was like, it's all right.
They, what was it? They finally got on a network and immediately got their budget cut.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the point in getting on a network then?
But I mean, I don't know. Like you say, it opens old wounds because I guess the shows were similar in vein. And, you know, there's the story that Michael J. Straczynski had pitched the show to Paramount, and Paramount said, no, we already have something in development like this. If Paramount stole his idea, he would have sued.
Well, he mentions that in a couple of places, though, where he talks about not suing because he didn't think it would be good for the fans.
That's bullshit.
I know. If you look at the first season of DS9 and the first season of Babylon 5, it's a little painful.
But what I'm saying is, there's no way that J. Michael Straczynski, I don't know the man, I've never spoken to him, but I can't imagine he would go, you know what, I'm not going to sue them stealing my $1 million idea, because it would just be too hard for the fans.
Well, I think it was also going to be one of those things like Apple suing Microsoft, right? Because when Apple sued Microsoft for Windows 3.1.1, trying to steal the look and feel of the Mac OS, the original stuff, you're totally ripping off our idea, the graphical user interface and everything. And there was a big court case and years, and then they lost, right? And the judge said you can't copyright a look and feel. Then Windows 95 came out, which was even more like, the Mac OS, because Windows with its little windows was nothing like Mac with its desktop and, things like that. So that's when they should have sued, because they were totally ripping off Mac. They just, sued too early.
My point being, I can't see him not suing.
Well, I think he learned his lesson from Apple, and he's like, okay, what's the point? They're going to get off on some technicality.
Nah.
Yeah, I think he should have sued.
He should have sued. Oh, shit, yeah, he should have sued.
I mean, they would have settled.
Yeah.
Well, he could have had a nice, cool $1 million check.
Because Paramount has the lawyers.
They at least would have said, they would have come up with something, and even pitched.
It's like, all right, you're executive producer. It's fine.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Babylon.
You can get some residuals.
Even in when I send pitches out to companies that says, your rejection maybe blah, 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 may have things, and you don't know what networks have in pipelines. You don't know. And if he would have felt that strongly about it, he should have sued. I think it's stupid to not sue.
You look at it and they change stuff, but there's so much stuff that's the same, or at least stupid level similar.
Did Babylon 5 have a wormhole?
No, but they did have jump gates. But so you have the Centauri had occupied the Narn for 100 years, but then the Narn are only. I
love Narn. It's so good at the Indian restaurants, dude. Especially when it's hot. Narn is so good.
Similar to the Narn are very similar to the Cardassians because they're reptilian, where they have that.
Yeah, but the Cardassians were around in TNG.
Yes. But I'm saying the way that this is implemented.
Okay, all right.
Bring those in. You could have a warrior-based society that you took feudal Japan and based your aliens on them, and then I could sue you for ripping off the Klingons. I mean, it's
all right. I'm just saying.
Just find somebody with Amazon Prime, or if you don't have it, watch the first season of Babylon 5
too.
All right.
I never watch Amazon Prime.
But start with the pilot episode isn't part of if you go to season 1, you'll actually start with the episode 1, but it's not the pilot.
Okay.
So you have to scroll to the bottom of the season 1, and there's bonus feature, Babylon 5, The Gathering.
Okay.
And that's the actual.
It's like the prequel episode.
Yeah. And the thing is that episode came out as far as like air dates, it was about a month after DS9 premiered.
Mm-hmm.
But with special effects and stuff, this stuff was in production. Both of them were, from way back.
Okay.
But then they waited a year before the next episode came, to get it up into full production.
Okay.
But definitely check it out.
All right.
Also check out Deep Space Nine because this episode was pretty good.
I will say this about Amazon Prime. I like Amazon Prime. I go through phases with Amazon Prime, but I can't get into Amazon Prime because they don't keep things on Prime for very long. Like there's no, I can't like watch list something. I can't go, oh, cool. Gangs of New York is on. I'll watch that in 6 months because it ain't there.
No. Yeah, I fell for that. I watch listed a bunch of stuff early on. Now the main things in my watch list are Amazon Prime originals.
Yeah, Amazon Prime is
forever.
They don't keep things around like Netflix.
Marvelous Miss Maisel, Miss Maisel. What was it? The other thing.
Goliath.
Shit.
I heard good things about that Goliath.
I want to watch Goliath. I haven't seen that yet.
There's too much stuff to watch.
I just don't like the interface because when I try to go to Amazon Prime, if I'm not on my Xbox or the PlayStation or whatever, the game console that has it, or the TV with its smart TV shit.
Yeah.
You go to prime.amazon and it's like, okay, oh shit, I'm on Amazon. I don't want to buy anything. So then I'm like, okay, where's my account? Okay, let me go to Prime Video. No, your Prime Video. Yeah, no, your.
And you got to bookmark your watch list, baby.
Your video library. Let me do your video library. Okay, so there's the stuff in my library and there's my watch list. But now, what about the Prime Original? Just the basic front end. No. Oh, there's Goliath. Yeah, there's. Okay, so I'll add that to watch list. Season 2. What happened to season 1?
You missed it.
They remade Dynasty on CW.
What?
Yeah, I've seen promos for it.
That sounds awful.
They just started season 2, and I wasn't even aware that there was a season 1. So that was.
It's like Teen Dynasty, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds awful.
It's definitely got that CW feel.
They're capitalizing on their Riverdale franchise, I think.
Yeah. There should be a crossover soon.
Teen drama type of stuff. They're in a war with Freeform for that demographic.
Yeah. I heard that Cloak and Dagger show today was pretty good.
I want to see it, but I'm not a Marvel fan. But
yeah, I didn't watch it because I'm not a fan of interracial relationships.
Whoa.
Just kidding.
I'm not a fan of the Dark Force.
No, I don't like that. The mud sharks.
Throwing her daggers around.
That was great. Ben's face for that alone is worth it, Patreoners. Come on, Ben. You know I'm kidding. I know both of you are in mixed relationships, you dummy.
You didn't use a voice. And you always, if you use a voice, it doesn't mean it's true. And you didn't use a voice.
He was a little more gravelly when he said it.
Look, I'm just trying to.
In the TV show, are they drug addicts? Because that's what they were in the comic book.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I heard it was good. And I love Cloak and Dagger. I'm just trying to appeal to the Trumpers, trying to get some more listeners up. That's all, bro.
Yeah. They're rooting for Roxxon. Yeah, Roxxon, get those motherfuckers.
Well, next week
they're stealing your intellectual property.
In order to get our Patreons up, I'm going to have a wire cage in the back, and I'll put a couple of my kids in.
Oh, God, that's the worst. Don't say that. I was so sad.
Yeah, well, fuck that motherfucker.
Yeah, anyway, that guy sucks.
And Jeff Sessions, Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III. How do you have a name like that and not be a racist little prick weasel?
Yeah.
Anyway, he's from my home state, so I love America.
The guy's a real dickhole.
I really hope when Dick Weasel Trump is impeached that they take Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III and let him be his little towel boy in prison. But
anywho, you know what?
Yeah, let's get to Star Trek.
This episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine really tugs at the old heartstrings.
Is it heartstrings or, were you a nerd in high school and...
No way, bro. I got tons of tang, dude.
I bet if I set up a weekly meeting with her and I make her Roctacino the way she likes it and I point it on the desk with the handle right there and so she can walk in. Now, the first clue for Odo should have been that she doesn't even say thank you or anything. Like, these are all her expectations now of their relationship, that he's going to have her coffee ready. He's going to have her little pad there ready. Exactly. You're not sex bait for her.
Yeah. I remember a enlisted Navy guy that when I was supporting a mission up north, we had some foreign officers, and some of the officers were from New Zealand, and there was a very attractive New Zealand lieutenant, female type, and I saw him going out to get lunch one day, and just making conversations like, "Oh, where are you heading for lunch?" And he said something about, "Well, Lieutenant, what's her name, said that if I bought her a salad, I could sit with her while she ate it."
What? That's so hot. That's wonderful.
And I'm like, so she just basically scammed a free lunch off of you just for the price of your creepy ass sitting there watching her eat.
See, I don't think it's like that. I mean, she's completely in the dark about Odo's feelings about her.
Yeah, but
that's true.
Level, you take
but
of it.
Like, even like if we all got together and I show up later than everybody else, and you guys have my drink order ready or whatever,
I think you're a fucking diva. Hey. And you'd be all like, "What the fuck, Dennis is?"
I'm on my people's time. So I'm gonna be a little bit late.
Japanese?
Yes.
Hi. You're gonna show up early and fucking blow up the place.
Exactly.
The time was. Why did Mark Twain come back? I don't understand.
I know.
Ben, where did you go?
Some people might have a problem with a man of color asking a white lady for coffee, but myself, I think it's wonderful.
If somebody sets things up for you, you should say thank you.
Yeah.
You should show your appreciation for it, even if they're a good friend and they do it all the time. You should always say thank you, right? Mm-hmm. She just strolls in there, starts drinking a goddamn Rockettino.
I mean, like, when
the big thank you is first. Like the first day.
Yeah. Well, if you do that the first time, you don't have to say thank you after that.
Swallow it.
The first day.
Yeah.
And
just a little cream with your Rockettino.
Part of him. But no, the first day, it's like, "Oh wow, thank you. You didn't have to do that." The next, days after that, though, you at least give the cursory, "Oh, thanks," and then you don't just. Like anytime, when Ginny and I were together, anytime she would make coffee in the morning and bring me one, it wasn't like
about time.
It took you so long, woman.
Yeah.
No, it was always, "Oh, thank you. You didn't have to do that." Yeah. And that was for 7 years that I was doing that. So
I'm just saying, listen.
It was clear to me, he was obviously doing all these little things, trying to make his office perfect and trying to get everything ready for their little meetings. Because that was his time to interact directly with her on a regularly scheduled basis, just like Garrick and Julian have their little lunches.
Look, she's not a mind reader, okay? And like Odo clearly enjoys doing, he likes to have things meticulous. He does the same. He even says he's a creature of his routine. So he did it one day. He's doing all this for himself, bruh. Some of it is for him. Yes, you're a guy.
Okay, so now you saying that you were getting all the punani in high school?
Yeah, bro. It's crushing ass.
Because those of us who were not were doing all these little things.
No, I didn't get laid in high school. What are you, nuts? I had a girlfriend, but whatever.
That was a what now?
It was over the robe, not through the robe.
Yeah, it was definitely over the robe.
I didn't even get to see the robe, so
there was just my love life was a lot of dry humping. All right, that's a lot of dry humping. But yeah. So anywho, I'm not here to kiss and tell. I'm not here to dry hump and tell, bro. I'm here to talk about Star Trek. But yeah, I think part of it. I mean, I could see how Kira could maybe, because again, she knows that Odo's super meticulous and he likes to have things. It's part of his routine. He even mentions it to Worf. Yeah, so maybe the first time it's just hey, thanks, but we don't know what they do.
Yeah, we know that she's a non-appreciative
wow
human. And that's all right. Well, not even Human. She's a Bajor.
So what you're saying is you'd be totally cool with Odo driving a car into a group of people.
No. I don't.
That's the next episode. Spoilers.
He drives his space car into the promenade.
He run about just riding. Actually, he transforms into a car.
Yeah. Cut out the middleman.
It's like, I don't want to go through the trouble of renting a runabout. I'll just turn into one and run people over.
No, he turns into a 57 Buick. It was like, what are you doing?
She never loved me, so I ran over people in the promenade.
Well, at least, in the future, he can go into the hollow suites and run over people.
It's true.
Not realizing he could just go in there and bang Kira.
I think this is definitely written from a male viewpoint with the bullshit mindset that we seem to be expressing here, that, that whole friend zone thing, the frustration of being ignored. And it's not like she owes him anything. And it's his dumb ass who never said anything until now because he's too shy. So you know what? She doesn't have to live her life about your fucking little dreams and but I had a crush on you first. You were supposed to save yourself for me, to build up enough balls with my gelatinous, ball making self.
What's funny about that, though, is Shakar is in the exact same boat as Odo because he likes Kira, but he doesn't know. He doesn't want to say anything.
Yeah.
Because he's not sure if she likes him. He wants to pass a little note with the check marks on it.
Yeah.
Say, do you want to go out with me? Check yes or no.
But the note that I made is that awkward moment when your crush's crush asks you about, your crush, which is his crush.
Does she ever talk about me? No. She's probably still thinking about her dead last boyfriend.
Look, she actually voted for the other guy in the election.
Look, here's what I'm saying to you. Shakar is a man of action. And when it comes to the ladies, Jim Carrey said it best in Cable Guy, he who hesitates masturbates, all right? And that's what we have here. Odo doesn't sack up and just tell her how he feels so he doesn't get the girl. You can't get the girl if you don't tell her.
Shakar never tells her how he feels.
Yes, he does. He's got to.
He just waits for the right opportunity to kind of lean in, and it just so happens that she feels the same way, so it works out.
But still, that still takes balls.
If at any time
it does.
Odo and the other changeling were trapped in the cave with the crystalline thing, she was disguised as Kira.
Yeah.
What was that, like second season?
Yeah, I just watched that episode a couple weeks ago. It was on Heroes and Icons.
Okay, so we know for a fact that he's been loving on Kira since then.
Yeah.
Right? That was the whole purpose of that, was for his little changeling friend to say, you love a humanoid.
Now, do you think the changeling, when he did the link on their home planet, is that when they learned all that about him, that he loved Kira and everything? Because he had to have loved her since
it's
she
obvious.
came to the station, right?
Yeah.
They've known each
Because he let her get away with murder.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's what he should have said. He'd be like, look, bitch, if you don't love me, I'm going to tell everybody you kill people.
That's very progressive and well thought out. Yeah.
Then you have a whole new series of adventures on your hands. Then the show writes itself here.
I will blackmail you into loving me.
That's right.
Right?
It would have been great if he made a heel turn.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Odo becomes a bad guy.
Yeah.
It's like for the next 3 seasons, right up until the end, that's the thing.
Odo joins the Dominion so they can take over Bajor, and he can force Kira to be his love slave.
And when he finally goes back to the great matrix of gelatinous goobers,
the pool or whatever they call it,
when she writes her blog entry about how horrible he was and how he used to make her starfish. And
I got to tell you what, I'm so happy that Chris Hardwick's going down. I never liked that motherfucker. That guy's a shit heel. Never a fan, ever.
Yeah, I've never really been a fan either.
Think about the blight, the curse that Singled Out was on American culture. It gave us Jenny McCarthy and Chris Hardwick. If I had a time machine and I had the chance to go back in time, I wouldn't kill Hitler. I would make sure that show never aired, because then we'd never see either one of them.
And the whole Vaxxer movement would be completely different now.
Right? She led the Vaxxer movement. That was her thing.
Oh, yeah, the anti-vaxxers. And she went from know-nothing, brainless Playboy model to medical advice for a nation of soccer moms.
Yeah.
No, it's weird because I know him. I've actually met him a couple of times through webcomics where it was like, I'm not famous enough to know him directly.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did you draw a webcomic of you guys meeting? Is that how you mean that you know him through webcomics? Because you drew the meeting?
I knew him because I know somebody who's next level famous from me and who's famous enough that they knew Will Wheaton when he was still on his nobody stage, but I'm just a geek online kind of thing before he started making a comeback. This is before Eureka. So I knew the guy who knew Will, and then Will knows Chris. And then it was like this weird thing where I would show up at the same place at the same time. And it was very weird for me kind of thing.
How is that weird for you? It sounds more weird for them.
It was like I shouldn't be there. It was, it's one of those things where I knew immediately. It's like, this is air that I shouldn't be breathing. Kind of. No,
man, Chris Hardwick's just a failed stand-up comic who.
Well, yeah, but he was also just somewhat of a douche. And there are plenty of people that I know that know him in the same way that he's just like, I'll skip. Hey, I heard Chris Hardwick's going to be at on the pub crawl with us.
He parlayed that shit into a big career, man. He was on the board at Legion or whatever, that production company, Legendary Pictures. Like, he was big time as fuck.
Hey, good for him.
Yeah,
and
he's married to an heiress now. He better try and lock that shit down.
Well, I mean, this happened all before they got married. I mean, this was
Yeah, but do people change?
I don't think
like is she like if it's different for guys, I guess. Like, you would never find out, or you typically wouldn't find out that your wife was sexually abusing people like her previous.
That was what was,
and they weren't treating you that same way. You know what I mean? In
the morning brief, when they're going down the list of crimes or whatever, and Odo says somebody's name, and Kira's like, "Oh, is his wife hitting him again?"
Yeah.
And that was the joke of like, "Oh, in the future, domestic violence goes the other way."
Yeah.
It's like, no, they're just fucking in public. Oh, so that makes it okay.
He's just getting it in, bro. Getting it in.
He takes a few punches so he can hook up later.
That's foreplay.
It's funny.
He punches her in the anus.
Yeah, fuck that.
With his tongue.
I don't care if that's bullshit. So, fuck Chris Hardwick and fuck the writers of DS9 for that little joke.
Different time.
That was fine in the 90s.
No, it wasn't.
Different time.
No, because literally at this time that this was airing, so this would have been, 95, 96?
Let me check. This is 1996.
Okay, so summer of 96.
This is January.
One of the guys at my...
That's right, Dennis.
One of the guys at my command was routinely getting his ass beat by his wife.
Oh, wow.
Some kind of psychotic break. Ended up that Navy Family Services had to step in and stuff. And so they send him to domestic abuse counseling.
That's sad.
The people who do the coordination on that were like, oh, this guy's showing up because of a domestic abuse case, and then put him in with the abusers because, hey, he's a guy, so he must be here because he hits his wife. He gets out of the class because after they watch all the videos, he's like, are you guys trying to give me ideas of what to do next? I mean, what are you trying to
think about Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie got his ass kicked by his wife a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Before it was cool. When I got married, I was still in the Air Force, and if you get married in Turkey to a Turkish national female, they have a class that you have to go to, which I didn't have to go to because I wasn't stationed there, but it's like a 4-week class because guys were getting married to these Turkish women, and the women would come in and they'd start beating their asses.
Wow.
So they had to start teaching them, hey, this is a different culture and you need to understand how to deal with people from this culture and everything.
Gotta learn how to take a punch.
Yeah. You gotta punch her before she punches you.
Oh, Jesus.
No, but I mean, it was that big a problem that they had to, all right, before anybody gets married, you need to go to this class.
It's Darwinism. Dennis, are you trying to tell us something? Blink twice if you're in danger. Dennis, run! She's right there.
No, everything's fine.
But you're speaking English, so she doesn't understand that.
Yeah, exactly. I never taught her English.
Do you know any Turkish?
Just enough to stay alive.
Speak Turkish. Say, hi, Bob. How are you in Turkish?
Merhaba Bob. Nasılsın?
Oh, okay. All
Sen
right.
iyi misin?
Okay, all right.
Türkçe bilmiyor musun?
I don't know. Now you're just making shit up.
Yeah, now you're just.
Now
I
you're
asked you if you know. I asked if you know Turkish.
Now you're just reading the names of the Iceland men's national team. Jorgensen, Jorgensen.
That's the Swedish chef.
Burger,
Ibrahimovic, burger.
The turkey in the bird, in the bird, in the shirt, in the
A turkin in the birkin in the dirkin in the schmirkin.
Wait, now I'm starting to think that the Swedish chef is Madden with an accent problem, because you put the turkey in the chicken in the birkin. Yeah, it's turkin.
A turkin badurkin.
God help us all.
But yeah, so this episode, you're right. It's very much from a man's point of view.
Yeah, the whole friend zone bullshit, because it's like, how about you just either fucking say something, and either if you was a real friend, you'd fucking be happy for your friend. Shut the fuck up, Mr. Ooh, what did you love me? Which, to be fair, he does kind of just, it's like, fuck it. I got to make this a professional relationship again and suck up my...
I guess it all comes to a head, like, because somebody's trying to kill homeboy.
Well, I mean, why would you want to kill Shakar? He's such a nice Canadian fellow.
He's the prime minister.
I know, but he's a nice Canadian dude. Like,
he's not Trudeau.
It's true. He's pretty close though.
He's like the proto Trudeau.
Yeah.
He was their first attempt.
He's Boudreaux. He's Boudreaux. He's not Trudeau.
Bergen, Flurgen, Schlurgen.
Yeah. Is it Trudeau or Trudeau?
It's Trudeau. I always thought it was Trudeau.
Okay. I know his dad was prime minister also.
He wouldn't correct you either way you said it, though.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's okay. Either one works, eh? Just don't call me late to the Rush show.
Did they play Subdivisions yet?
Oh, man. I really love that band, eh? Don't call me late to that, eh?
Well, I love Fly By Night.
Oh, yeah, that's a really
it's a great song, man.
Moving Pictures is a great record, eh?
2112, baby.
I tell you what, though, if I hear Tom Sawyer again, I'm going to get really upset. I'm very tired of hearing that song. But I wouldn't want to say it too loud because I don't want to hurt Rush's feelings, eh?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Kitty Lee, good job.
Oh, yeah.
I can't hang in there with the Canadian too long. I start getting British.
I start going to Fargo. I get too Fargo there.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, yeah, don't you know?
Minnesotans are
going up to Toronto there.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
North Dakotans, they're basically Canadians.
You really got the elbow up there. Eh? I only know like a few brief, it's like kind of phrases because I've heard them a lot. Like
take off a.
Yeah, when we used to hang out with the Norfolk Admirals, they would say certain terms. That's what. They got the elbow up there, eh? So that's the elbow. And then like ones that Bret the Hitman Hart used to say, like, I'm the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. It's about respect. I can say that because he always say that it's about respect. It's about being the best.
Yeah. And you get some more time with Zen and Kanopka before I can be comfortable with my Canadian speak again.
Yeah. And then my sister's boyfriend's Canadian. So like he's real nice and he says fun Canadian stuff.
He's actual Canadian. He's not like a black guy that you just say.
Oh, no, Dennis. No. My mom would not.
I know. That's what you tell your mom. He's Canadian.
No. He's a hockey coach. He's so much of a Canadian. He's actually a hockey coach.
Yeah.
He coaches in Germany.
Uh-oh. Mark Twain wants to weigh in. Mr. Clements, what would you like to say?
Time was.
We were getting close to a riverboat situation. But
yeah,
I used to watch it. There was a show I used to watch called Being Erica.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you ever watched that. I watched like 2 seasons before I figured out they were Canadian. And it was the vowels.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
Sorry about that. But they talk like normal people the rest of the time, but then all of a sudden I'd hear a vowel wrong. It was like, oh, sorry.
Yeah. It must have been very challenging for Tatiana Maslany to play Orphan Black, like all those different accents and not accidentally become Canadian again.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they'll look at, what's his name? House. Stuart Little's dad.
Hugh Lowry.
Hugh Lowry. Jesus
Fucking
Christ.
Space House? Police House?
Yeah. But he, There's people who had no idea and were blown away that, he was British.
Yeah, but I think a lot of the English guys get away with, like, Christian Bale. Nobody knows he's a fucking Brit. Like, I think a lot of the Brits, unless they're Michael Caine, can slide pretty easily into an American accent.
I think that's bullshit, though.
Has Michael Caine ever attempted an American accent?
No, because he's the most British motherfucker on the face of the earth. We burnt down the forest. It's like, who's that?
Like him and Sean Connery. They're two guys that never even try to do the American accent.
Like, there's nothing funnier than that burnt down the forest scene in Batman or The Dark Knight, because he's so, like, obnoxiously British there. Yeah. Like, he might as well have been wearing one of those big bobby hats and, like, drinking tea while he's saying it.
He's a massive departure from the Alfred from the animated series.
But I like Alfred. But I thought he was a good Alfred.
He is a good Alfred.
But he was, like, overly British, where the other Alfreds were just, like, slightly British. And who knew Alan Napier, who was the Batman on the original 1966 TV show, was in every fucking movie. Like, watch Alan Napier, the guy who played Alfred in the original TV show. That guy is in everything. Like, because I watch Svengoolie every week, and they always run through the casts.
Oh, I thought you meant every Batman movie. I was like, no way, he's got to be dead.
Just in every movie. His filmography is impressive because he's in everything. Okay. It's nuts.
No, I was on the same page and wavelength.
Yeah, I was like, he was in The Dark Knight?
It's like, how the fuck could he be in every Batman movie? He's been dead since the 70s.
Did they pull a Grand Moff Tarkin on him?
Yes.
Grand Alfred Tarkin?
You know who would have been a great Alfred, and I would have given him mad props as they put him in there? The guy who played Jeffrey in Fresh Prince. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
That would have been really good.
I approve.
I'm sure that guy's still alive. I'm sure he's still around and acting.
You know what? Let's look.
Good old Jeffrey.
Let's see. Jeffrey from the Fresh Prince.
Bruce Wayne could date Hillary.
He is indeed still alive. He's 69 years old.
Oh, because Shakar's only 65 now, so...
Shakar's good, man. I really like Shakar. He's cool. I like that guy.
I'm not liking him.
Why not?
Wait, you were rooting for Odo?
Oh, Odo's my boy.
I mean, I like Odo too, but again, at some point, you got to sack up. She's not a mind reader.
Oh, I absolutely. I mean, it's just painful because having been there, and it's just
I like grumpy Odo. I don't like moody Odo.
It was just painful to see him experiencing emotions because I think he doesn't understand the emotions he's feeling, honestly, because he never had the socialization that was required for him to understand what these feelings were. He's like if you took a baby and you did experiments with the Skinner box, and he's like, no, let's just not touch the baby and see how it turns out. And that would be Odo, where
I can see that.
He knows what feelings are, but unless you actually feel them yourself.
All right.
I can read about, love in a book all day long, but until I actually develop that natural feeling of love, whether it be, the platonic love or the erotic love, there's, you don't know either. You are just, completely missing out on that aspect.
And I don't think he's in love with her. I think this is like a silly schoolboy crush that
I don't know. He's known her for a long time.
Yeah, because he's known her since the occupation. So
but still, I mean, but you just said he doesn't know what love is. You just went on and on and on.
He wants to know what love is.
Oh, God knows what.
You don't know what love is, but he
wants Kira to show him.
Yeah.
Her vagina. You get these natural feelings as a human being, but as a sentient creature. I mean, even Vulcans have feelings. They just, they've learned to suppress theirs. Poor Odo, he's not suppressing it. He just doesn't know what he's feeling and how he doesn't know how to process these things that are happening to him. His body is going through changes, and he's got hair in new places. He's developing a broader chest.
He's going to need to watch that Miracle of Life video.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly a belt pops up.
They rolled the TV on the stand with the VCR into his office. It's like, we got a video that we want you to watch.
Odo, were you eating a sandwich in bed? Why is your mattress stained?
Mom,
you don't remember? Do you guys remember that video where the kid had fucking busted a nut in his? This was the video at my school. I just assumed they were all the same.
The nocturnal emissions.
Yeah, and then he went into the kitchen and got ketchup and mustard and stuff and squirted it all over the mattress. So then,
what kind of jizz does this kid have?
I don't know, real toxic ketchup jizz. But then he was and then his mom was like, "Billy, were you eating a sandwich in bed again?" And he was like, "No, Mom, I was just coming in my pants. I mean, yes, I was eating a sandwich."
We didn't have that.
You didn't have sex ed when you were in school?
No.
How old are you, Ben? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Okay, so in 9th grade, basically I'm old enough that I am a child of the summer of love. But when I was hitting the age that I was ready to start doing things, or thought I was ready to start doing, or at least be interested in doing things.
With your penis?
The AIDS epidemic had hit. And so now we were afraid to even look at anybody because you would get, the AIDS and die, because we had no understanding of what the fuck was going on. In 9th grade, they had a doctor come in and talk about sex, but he talked about it in completely coded terms. Right? At one point, he told us that, driving a Ferrari, that can be a lot of fun. You get on the highway and you drive that Ferrari and you're driving it really fast, and you can have a lot of fun driving a Ferrari, right? And you drive it down the highway and you can have a lot of fun doing that. But then you look over one day as you're crossing a bridge and you see that river and you think, I bet it'd be a lot of fun to drive my Ferrari in a river. And so you do, but then you end up damaging the river, you damage the Ferrari, and you've just
damaged the river.
Yeah, because pollutants, bro.
What kind of doctor is this?
So, that's when you figure out.
An Alabama doctor.
There's some things you shouldn't do. A Ferrari is meant to be on a highway, not in a river. You kids get what I'm saying?
And by Ferrari, I mean your penis. And by river, I mean a woman's
a man's butt.
He's talking about how, as your body goes through changes, you release hormones, and that's why you sometimes you'll have the acne and stuff, and you just need to keep your face clean and keep your body clean in general.
Keep your mind clean, so stay away from the pornography.
So that was pretty much, and at the end of the thing, he handed out cards.
He's like, hey, if you have any of these weird feelings, call me.
Well, no, these I forget if it was little helpful.
I'll take care of it for you.
Hotlines or something. And he has a stack of cards and he starts handing it out. I see my biology teacher's eyes like, what the hell is he handing out? Because she was terrified he might be handing out condoms or something. I'm like, really? You think this guy even knows what a condom is? Jesus. So yeah, we had no clue I had no idea where to put my fucking dick until Hutzler magazine. So. And even after that, I was a little confused because there were 3 choices, and I'm like, one of these has got to work.
Yep, I don't know.
Anyway, sex ed. It was.
But Odo, see, I don't know. Odo could have used some feelings, Ed. And I gotta tell you here, bro.
He could have used Troy. Is that possible?
Maybe Quark is a bartender, and he naturally tries to help out the way he can. He calls it from the jump. He sees what's going on here.
That made me question, is Quark a bartender because he can read people, or can he read people because he's a bartender?
I think you have to have a natural ability before you become a successful bartender.
Yeah.
Like anybody,
because he's always kind of been in the service industry, right? Because then he mentioned in the last episode about how he was away from Ferenginar when they had the financial crisis, he was a chef or something like that. He was
a cook on a Ferengi ship.
Yeah,
during the war years or something.
I mean, he called it, and then Odo could have expressed his feelings there, but he chose to act out in rage and anger, and he totally missed the attempt on fucking Captain Canada's life.
Well, yeah, because you got the. I mean, how creepy is this? I mean, I've had crushes before, but I've never stood outside her fucking room while she gets
That was
banged.
weird. That was weird.
Yeah.
Hey, Jimenez, beat it, Jimenez. Go check.
But that was later in the episode. This was after. This was when he saved his life by turning his little hands into the pylon things, and then later he waits outside of the door.
They're in the pylon. He's just standing there watching them like a creep.
Yeah,
like, gotta watch. I'm sorry. Even the Secret Service fucking faces the other. If you're in a closed room and there's no way in from the other side, you can maybe for a few minutes turn your back so the guy can steal a kiss.
I want to watch.
Yeah, turn into a hot heavy rat and watch.
I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna
pull my little rat pud.
At least turn into a chair. Turn into a chair. Turn into a rat.
What you do is you turn into a condom, and then he'll put it on his penis, and he'll stick it inside her, and then you'll be there too.
Condoms in there.
That's awesome.
And then Odo could be all like, "I was inside of you, Kira," and he's like, "What the fuck?" When
Shakar didn't fuck you, I fucked you. He kind of fucked me too, but I fucked you.
But I guess you gotta pay. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul, but whatever, it worked.
There was a lot of Peter involved. I was a little surprised.
But yep, when he put that condom on,
I wish he did that.
You didn't notice its haircut, and she thinks about it. It's like, oh my god, it did have Donald Trump Jr.
Did
hair.
Did you see the belt the condom was wearing? Your favorite belt.
I wondered why the condom had a belt on it.
It's belted for your pleasure.
Yes.
And that buckle was right on your clip, baby.
And so am I.
That would have been awesome.
He wasn't wearing a.
Why is this condom so fucking hot?
And so heavy. Oh, it's real heavy on my penis, eh?
These Federation prophylactics aren't too good now, eh?
I'm really having a hard time keeping a stiffy here with this heavy condom. It's so thick, I'm not really feeling anything. Maurice.
But it's also so warm. I feel like I might finish here a little too early, eh?
Yeah. Oh, no. I might want to see Dr. Bashir about that.
See, then what happens is Kira's like, this dude's a one-pump chump. He can't keep up the performance, you understand?
And he burned my labia, motherfucker.
Yeah. And this belt really chafed my clit.
He smells just like that hot, heavy rat in Cargo Bay 32.
Why would he put a big belt on his condom? That would really rub his I really got to rethink this relationship with Shakar. He does not know how to please a woman. And then Odo's like, mission accomplished. Then he gets flushed down the toilet and he shows up.
Not the reclamator.
And then it's like that part in the Goonies where they go down the water slide and then Odo lands. And he's like, he's like, that worked perfectly.
Washes the jizz off.
When you make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs. And then the next
things
day,
we do for love.
Yeah, then he's got his drink already. And she's like, so how did your night go last night? And she's like, well, it was okay until, Shakar put on the condom and then,
Yeah, oh, do tell.
And then I felt this weird belt thing hit me in the clit, and it didn't work for me at all. This belt right here.
It was white hot.
It's very heavy condom.
Yeah. My vagina is cauterized.
Mm-hmm. That's my Odo impersonation. I think it's real good. Here, I'll do it again. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that Quark and Odo are practically roomies.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man.
How thin are those floors, though, that he can, even with his Ferengi ears, that he can hear him oozing around at night?
I don't think that's possible. I think Odo put like speakers in Quark's room so he has to hear what's going on.
Well, it's fun too because Quark points to his own ears. He's like, look at these things. They're not just for fucking
she's like, how can you hear that? And he's like,
hello.
Adoy.
What's that? Colloquialism was kind of weird. Like that they would still be saying hello and that an alien would be saying it. In the 24th century or whatever.
He said the Ferengi, 24th century Ferengi equivalent of.
So they have Ferengi slang that's like that?
Yeah, but it was the universal translator because actually what he said was "wata."
And you know what else you could do too is shit. I forgot the joke that I was gonna say. Must not have been that good. I apologize. No, I forgot. Shit, I forgot.
What episode are we watching? Hello.
Oh no, I was gonna say Cisco is gonna come into his quarters and go, "What's up?"
Which again, he said, "Good morning, everyone. How was your day?"
What's up?
The translator translates it to that.
And then he went to throw
Was
something.
Cisco
away.
in this episode?
Yes,
Barely. He's just there to yell.
Oh yeah, he's there to meet him. Yeah, they're in their dress uniforms.
He's there in the dress uniforms, and he calls him old man. He's like, "Thanks for showing up, you old man." And then he shows up later just to yell at
Odo for being bad at his job.
You really suck at your job. And then he shoots a piece of paper in the wastebasket and goes, "Kobe," and then makes it. What's up? And then O'Brien was at
Odo, can you do your condom trick for me?
I would love to bust a nut inside of you.
Is Jadzia dating at this point?
No, not yet.
Where's the beef?
With her, when she's late, thanks for joining.
Wait,
man.
she's late?
When she arrives.
Her monthly visitors late?
She said the promenade was very busy.
Yeah.
Because all the excitement.
Okay.
Her and Worf aren't humping yet.
I didn't want to just say it out.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We all know they get married eventually.
Yeah. Do we?
Yeah, I know. Dennis, you knew, right?
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Yeah, I thought that was common. I mean, come on. We're the only ones that haven't seen it. If you're listening to this, you might not even watch Star Trek or you've seen all of it.
Yeah.
I think there's still some people.
I am going to come inside of you, Odo. I didn't know you could do that. That is the hottest thing I've ever seen. I didn't know that was my fetish until right now. You are so.
I need the belt. I need the belt.
And then while Odo
He's like trying to rationalize. He's like, well, he's not really a guy, so I'm not really gay. Like, he's kind of genderless, right? So it's okay.
I am not gay.
But then Odo goes to North Carolina and he can't use the bathroom.
Yeah.
So then what happens too is I guess when Odo finds out that they banged and stuff, he gets all upset and smashes up his quarters.
Yeah.
And then he gets all sad and Quark comes in and gives him like a good pep talk, which is, I mean, it's a pretty good pep talk. He's like, look, man.
Yeah, shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, shit or get off the pot. Stop being such a goddamn sissy Mary.
Yeah, I think Quark is quite possibly the best friend Odo has.
Yeah. Totally.
I did try
even
to
if it's in self-interest, because he wants
that's also
his betting pools. Like that's his excuse. I know,
Yeah.
like his excuse to say, like, I don't really care. I'm just worried about my business. But, I'm sure there is some self-interest in it.
I just think for Ferengi, I think Quark is more progressive than he lets on.
He lets his mom wear clothes and stuff.
Yeah, so
It might be the thing
that.
But it might be the thing where they just play along, like all Ferengi just play along with what they think society expects of them. But in their own private lives, they have their own code that they live by,
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody, like there may be a handful of people that are like super Ferengi, but
the Worf equivalent.
Yeah, exactly. But they in their own personal life they make other people make exceptions to the rules. I
remember there being a conversion class at my synagogue, and one of the old Russians that had escaped the Soviet Union. I would always sit in that back row.
This is not a money conversion class, right?
No.
Oh, Dennis.
Where the Goyish folk becoming Jews, but one of the old Russians. I'm sitting in the back, and one of the people going through the conversion class was being introduced to a certain ceremony, and the old Russian guy sitting there is like, "You, the problem with converts, they believe all this bullshit."
And I mean, I think Worf very much suits that.
Yeah, where he's like, oh, I read in a book, here's how Klingons are supposed to act.
Yeah.
So I have to over Klingon it.
That's why the born again Christians are like the most
I have to over
worst.
Klingon it.
Well, see, my joke was always, when the rabbi told us not to try not to over Jew it. And
yuck.
Yeah. So it doesn't work.
It's all show business with you Jews, even the rabbis.
He does 3 shows weekly.
So Jumi, what can I say?
I converted for the jokes.
That's a great Seinfeld episode.
Look, I'm not offended because you made the joke. I'm offended because, as a comedian, because the joke is bad. Was that?
Yeah.
I'm not offended as a Jew. I'm offended as a comedian.
That's a great episode. That's
Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston was so great.
Did you? Okay, so here's just real quick diversion because we're all about rabbit holes on this episode. Bryan Cranston found out from one of the legal team or whatever that on the old Malcolm in the Middle show, whenever he's puttering around the house and he's just humming these little songs and stuff, is that since those were original, just him off the top of his head puttering around making hums, just making up a song as he goes, those were technically original compositions.
Huh.
And so he had to be compensated for it if it was in the episode. It was just like stupid little bit of, not, anything like, oh, you're, the new John Williams, but just, it's like, well, yeah, there was 20 seconds of Brian humming, so we got to give him a check.
Oh, that's a good idea.
John Williams of humming.
So he would save all those little checks, right? And then he would throw cast parties for all the production guys.
That's nice.
So like all the sound, guys and the lighting and stuff. And so
it sounds like a very Bryan Cranston thing to do.
And when I read that, I was just like, oh my God, you're just the sweetest guy. I'm tearing up. You're such a nice guy. Good for you, Brian.
Good for you, Mr.
I wish he played Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I think everybody does.
Yeah.
I think even that. What's the kid's name? Jesse Eisenberg or whatever. I think even he thinks so.
Yeah.
Was it we wanted Heisenberg and we got Eisenberg. So.
Where are we in the episodes? Yeah. So
it's basically Odo. He goes up to talk to Kira and says, "I have something to tell you." And then we all are expecting him to say he loves her, but he says, "I can't do our meetings anymore because I need to focus on my work." Blah blah blah.
And she seems kind of sad.
Now, is it
because that's her free coffee is gone?
Yeah.
So she has no feelings for him. It's the free coffee.
She has feelings for him.
And it's not Luke Cage coffee either.
Yeah, she has feelings for him. I mean, they're
a friend.
Yeah.
June 22nd, by the way, Dennis.
Yeah, Friday.
I know. I'm excited.
I'm planning to watch the entire thing that weekend.
I ain't got that kind of time, but I'm excited.
My sons are actually here. The cadets are in the other. That's why I'm in my quarters on deck 5 today.
Ah, okay.
I have them all week for summer vacation. So
you're in your quarters.
Yes. My very
your modest quarters.
My modest quarters.
But there you go.
My Starfleet display on the nightstand.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I saw that. I was curious what it was, but I didn't ask. But it looked cool.
Yeah, get on your bed, baby.
And that's the episode. I thought it was good. I really liked it.
That was part of a project back in the 90s. We had to do the history of the future.
The history of the future.
Yeah.
Was this a self-assigned project?
It was the, what do you call it? The Starfleet badges. And the one that's missing is the one that my TNG badge that's on my TNG uniform right now.
In the year 2000.
So yeah, that would have been 97. No, Jesus Christ, that would have been 93, 4 when I did that.
In the year
24, 25 years ago.
2000.
Wow.
I know, we're all old, Ben. We're all old men.
There was a category on Jeopardy tonight about 1993. And Alex is like, yes, that was 25 years ago. I was like,
fuck you, Alex. And you know what? We're wasting our life talking about some dumbass TV show.
We should be talking about Babylon 5.
We're having fun doing it, though.
I love you guys. This is I look so much forward to doing this every week. It's really great.
Yeah, me too.
This is the only time I talk to adults that I don't work with.
I don't know if I should be honored or sad for you.
The rest of the time, I literally sit in this chair until it's time to go to bed. I just sit here.
Waiting to die.
Like I'm in front of the computer.
Cross another day off the calendar.
I have Zoom in the chat open, just waiting for the show to start.
No, I'm very sad at this moment.
Sometimes I play with my dice.
I play with my dice too. I'm doing that right now. And I read the rules, so I figured out some of the game. So I'm excited about this weekend too.
I read my book.
What book are you reading? Anything good?
Strangers from the Sky.
Strangers from the Sky, the best Star Trek novelization, non-canon that you'll ever get.
All right, I'll have to look that one up because I like reading the Star Trek books. I'll have to look for that one.
It's non-canon as all hell. But,
all of them are.
But it's well written, and one of the way. Okay, so
what crew is it?
So it's original series, but it's just before Star Trek II.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So they've got the maroon uniforms. It's just before that, but then they are flashing back to pre-pilot Star Trek when Gary Mitchell was still the first officer and Spock was the science officer, and that crew. So it's like just
Gary Mitchell was the first officer.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Well, depending on who you ask, so that's one of those. It's assumed because of certain points in dialogue.
Okay.
And then Spock becomes first officer after that. But then other people say no, he was just a navigator.
Okay.
So
it's called Strangers in the Sky.
Strangers from the Sky, and it talks about Earth's first contact with the Vulcans. But the cool thing is that the stuff that's in pre-Wrath of Khan era is in one font, and the stuff that's in original series era is in another font when they flash back. Okay. And then there's time travel involved. And so you can literally read all of the stuff from the Wrath of Khan's era, and it make pretty good sense. And you can read all the stuff from the flashback to the TOS era, and it make good sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's literally like two books that have been, two completely different stories.
But they intertwine at the end.
Right. And the future story is referring
it's like Westworld.
Back. Is who?
Westworld.
What now?
Like that.
Oh,
yeah, Westworld tells like different timeline stories through the season, and then they kind of come together eventually.
And this though has a lot of the same characters, and they're trying to, Spock has to do a mind meld because he had done the original mind meld to make Kirk forget the cover up, and there's like all this intrigue going on, and it's really good. And like I said, that I went to a bookstore, and basically all the novelizations I had read when I was a kid, they had it at this used bookstore. And so my son was there, it's like, I'm not going to give you money. You've got to earn your money. So all the books that he'd read like 100 times, he's like, I'm not going to read them. I'm going to sell them. So he takes them to the used bookstore to get cash to get more books, which I was like, fine, I'll help you.
I'm a big fan of that.
But I go in and I'm like, oh, wait, I used to have this when I was a kid and I really want it again. I spent more money on the books that I was buying for myself than he had been asking for. It's like, I can borrow $20. I'm like, no, because I'm buying these $50 worth of stuff.
No, son, I spent all the money on Star Trek books. Now get away from me. Can I read them too? Get out of my face, kid.
Yeah, you can. Another great one, the original, the Star Trek The Motion Picture novelization by Gene Roddenberry.
Okay.
It's like reading a TNG story.
All right.
He really wanted TNG his vision of that first season of TNG was definitely in his head when he was doing the motion picture.
Okay. I read, what did I read? I read 2 Star Trek books recently, and I liked them. I forget, they were like Yesterday's Sun about Spock and what's her face?
Sarah Beth.
Yeah, that was pretty good about his son. It was good. And then I read the sequel, and I liked that one too.
Spock had a son?
Allegedly, yes.
No.
Don't skip the line at the movie and just go ahead and hit the novelizations from the 90s, the Han Solo series.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard those are good.
The ones by
wrote them?
A.C. Crispin.
Yeah, that's who wrote the what's it called book. She died.
Yep.
She wrote Yesterday's Son. I thought it was pretty good.
She did a great job with in my head canon. That is the Han Solo backstory.
And I want to read Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina. I heard that's a great one.
It is good.
Yeah, I've heard that's really good.
I've read it a couple times over the years.
I'm reading a book now that
Tales from Jabba's Palace is really good too.
Okay, what's that one?
Tales of the Bounty Hunters.
Ooh, that's
The
cool.
Bounty Hunters one is pretty good.
It's really good.
I'm reading a book now, if you're into like anthology series like that, called Old Venus. It's a collection of short stories edited by George R.R. Martin and another writer whose name isn't as famous as George R.R. Martin's. That's why I don't remember it. And it's basically they're telling like modern stories of Venus, but like kind of using the old like pulp ideas of like Mars. Because I guess, back in the day, they explain it very well in the beginning of the book. Like before people actually found out what was on Venus and what Venus is now, they had this vision that there were swamps and this, that, and the other thing. And there used to be
Jungles.
like jungles and all kinds of stuff. So they're kind of writing all of these stories set in that mind frame of Venus, because once people found out that Venus is the hottest planet and yada, 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 and its atmosphere is all like fucking, like, so whatever the hell it is, it's all ammonia.
Methane or whatever.
Yeah. So then the idea of like fantasy a la like Edgar Rice Burroughs on Venus just went away. They just stopped doing it. But this is kind of set in that it's really fucking good, man. It's called
Ray Bradbury had some Venus short stories as well, but his was like it's raining all the time there.
Yeah.
And like these people are try to find these domes that are like shelter areas, and they get lost, and like everything, like it rains so much it washes out all their clothes, washes out their skin and everything like that. It's like
it was cool. So far I'm really digging it. So
nice.
Yeah, we've reviewed all kinds of stuff on this thing today. So what did we think about the Star Trek episode?
Shakar?
Yes. Ratings, anyone? Ratings, anyone?
6.
Okay. Dennis?
I'd say it's like a 4.
Oh,
like
wow.
Honestly, the whole Odo unrequited love with Kira thing is my least favorite thing about DS9.
Really?
I just don't care. It's just kind of dumb. It doesn't really serve the story overall.
Romantic.
For me. Not really.
See,
my favorite part of this episode is when Odo and Worf are talking about ways to be more antisocial.
I love it.
I love this, man. They're fucking misanthropes.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Perhaps if I'm more rude to Chief O'Brien, won't want to come around as much.
And I like how they're talking.
That's the only part of the episode I really liked.
They're talking cash shit about O'Brien. The only one that seems to make frequent visits to my quarters is O'Brien. And you can see the hatred in his voice when he says it. Well, it's probably because you guys know each other from the Enterprise. And he's like, perhaps. Like they're thinking of reasons why O'Brien would want to hang out with him. Maybe if I'm more of a dick, he won't go.
Maybe if I act like his wife.
If I'm more inhospitable.
Yeah.
Like his wife.
See, that's weird, Dennis, because I
should start banging his wife.
Yes. Yes.
That worked for Commander Riker.
Yeah.
Copla. See, Dennis, I really enjoy this episode. I'm gonna give it a 6.5, because I'm not gonna say 7, but I really like it. Gives depth to the characters.
I was dancing between 5 and 6, but
I really hope this is the last episode where they explore this love between. God damn it!
And I like Shakar. I think Shakar is cool.
Shakar's cool.
I'm glad they brought him back because, again, I really like the idea of a character.
Can't wait to see him die later, I'm sure.
Yes. But what I'm saying is I like Star Trek better when like a character is mentioned and then it's a reoccurring thing. I can't wait to see more of this True Way. I'm excited to see more about that, hopefully, because DS9 doesn't really do that. Like they'll mention something and then it comes back. It's not like TNG, which would be the only real lacking part of TNG, where like they just kind of they plant these seeds and they never really go back to bear the fruit of them. Which on Deep Space Nine, exactly, like that being the biggest example of it. I mean,
Jeremy Astor, Conspiracy.
Dude, Alexander was almost one of those.
Yeah.
Like where it's like Worf has a son and like, oh shit, we got to do a Worf son episode. Fuck, dude. What do we do? So yeah,
he'll hang out with Loxana Troy.
Yeah. Yeah. He'll get to see her old lady tits.
Yeah.
Cool.
You can take a mud bath with her.
Yeah. But yes, that's the part of Deep Space Nine that I like. So I'm glad that I got to see things now I know I got things to look forward to with the True Way. Just layers. They're just building layers and layers and sediment and stories and stuff like that. So good on.
I felt bad for Dennis when he's like, I hope we don't see this aspect of the show again. It's like
it's my least favorite thing about the show.
This is like quite the third episode that it's been kind of touched on.
Yeah.
So it's
but whenever it comes up, it's the A story, and I think that's too much time devoted to it.
I can see that.
I mean, there's a couple where it's like the double A story, so you're just you've got
they're beating you over the head over. It's like, okay, I get it. He's a changeling. He's weird. I understand.
You're gonna have a lot of pain ahead of you, Dennis.
He wants to get it in. We all want to get it in. What's the problem?
Let me guess. They're gonna crash on a planet later, and then he has to fight over his feelings or something.
He gets bit by a Targalian sap snake, and she has to suck the poison
on his changeling dick?
On his changeling cock.
She's like, do you really need to make this a cock?
Yes.
What can I say?
It bit your arm.
It's my cock arm. You don't know this about changelings, but we have cock arms. That's why I wear sleeves.
I just make it look like a normal arm to make you more comfortable.
Yes, because it's
but the poison is affecting my shape-shifting ability.
Yes, so I can't.
Humans refer to other humans as being cockeyed. Changelings occasionally are cock-armed.
I can't stop changing things into penises. I don't know what it is. It's the poison. Oh no!
I feel it coursing through my veins.
No,
another penis! Oh my god! Suck it quick!
Before this gets out of control. But, in case if it's a bonus, I can do triple penetration.
And what I can do is I can make myself look like Shakar if you need me to, if that makes it more natural for you.
See, if anything, this should be motivation for him to learn how to imitate humanoids better.
Yeah. Yes. Or just
because then he could say, oh, Shakar, it was a surprise visit.
Or
don't tell anybody I was here.
Or Dennis, which would be less rapey. It's just tell people how you feel.
That would be the preferred method.
Yes, just what?
Well, he could go Revenge of the Nerds on her.
If Odo, yes, that was always very creepy when Lewis rapes her at the end.
That mask on, no.
They never mentioned that. They never mentioned Lewis's rape. But then, listen, if you love someone, you got to tell them.
Or let them go, and if they truly love you, they'll come back.
Or they'll date some.
Yeah, that's why this would be a perfect
fucks like a jackhammer.
This would be a perfect point to stop talking about it.
Yeah,
because he's made his decision. Yeah. He's going to move on with his life.
But Shakar is going to dump her eventually. Then she's going to need a shoulder to cry on, and Odo's going to.
Or he's going to get turned into a robo-brain person, or something.
Unexpectedly, a changeling got through the wormhole somehow, snuck into the Bajoran capital, and killed him.
That's possible.
Thankfully, Constable Odo was on Bajor at the Capitol at the same time and helped lead the investigation.
Uh-huh.
But the results were inconclusive. And the best we can see is one of my people escaped, and...
All we can tell is a changeling did this. Too bad changelings don't have DNA.
It's all this. It's like West Virginia up in that bitch.
Yeah.
So they're all the same.
But Odo, you're the only changeling that knew about Wolverine. Why did you shapeshift into Wolverine to kill him?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. A comic book must have flown through the wormhole.
I must go.
Those TV transmissions finally made it to the Gamma Quadrant. So.
I must go. Let's never speak of this ever again.
Case closed.
Transform.
We didn't catch anybody. Case closed.
I said case closed. I'm Odo.
He turns into a judge. Case closed.
And with the creation of the belt, though, just as our, I don't know, seasonal reminder, Odo is always naked.
Always.
Yeah.
His clothes are actually his outer.
And maybe if he wasn't being such a bitch, she's like, "Oh, I miss your belt. Hang on." And he just makes a belt out of his belly. That's weird, man. Like, don't be so accommodating.
Yeah. You're a magician at that point. And nobody wants to date a magician.
But if she would let him buy a salad so he could watch her eat it.
If that's all he wants. Knock yourself out.
Come
Make
on.
sales all the time.
Be a man, Hulk.
Yeah. Be a man, Hogan.
Come on, don't be scared. You're running from macho, that's what I heard. Yeah, come on, just, get with it, friend. I still know I still know way too many words to that song. Which is my curse.
Yeah, all I know is be a man, Hogan.
Yeah, I know entirely too many words to that song. So,
not only tangentially Hogan related, I'm going to make my kids watch the Rocky movies with me.
Yeah. Hey, fool.
For Creed 2 coming out soon.
I still got to watch Creed. That's one thing I got on Amazon Prime I need to watch.
Hey, Saga.
I just warn you to be careful watching Creed.
Well, he doesn't get shot in a subway station, does he? Because I already seen that movie. No, Fruitvale Station.
I haven't seen that one. I heard it's real good.
It's pretty good, but it's sad.
Yeah.
But no, it's if you've seen the Rocky movies.
When's Clubber Lang's son gonna show up and fight him? That's what
that would be.
That's actually who he fights in Creed 2.
No,
who would play Clubber Lang's son?
I don't know, but it would be cool.
Jeez,
hey, fool!
It'd probably be that guy Winston Duke who played M'Baku in Black Panther.
Oh, I'd watch that.
I like
how that'd be fun. Hey, fool!
Two very attractive men.
Very attractive black men, yes.
I don't see
physical contest.
Black
silk
men.
Shorts.
Kissy.
Touch gloves, not touch lips.
That's real funny.
Just let it happen.
Get up my face! Don't even know you got no more. Better take that bad look of his one. Knock it off. Hey, fool!
I wonder if Mike Coulter can pull off a Mr. T impression.
I would love to see that, but you couldn't.
He's got the build for it, but I don't think he's got that ability to play that type of character.
No, you couldn't.
He grew up with his mom's family.
Yeah, so he's easygoing.
So
no, that's bullshit. No, I'm out.
No. And he
look.
His accent is different, and he didn't grow up in the main streets of Philly.
He's from Chicago. Clubber Lang's from Chicago.
That's what I said. The main streets of Chicago.
Yeah. All right. Look, I think
I can imagine Clubber Lang's life fell apart after he lost to Rocky, right?
That's not true. I think that's we never know what happened. Rocky just beats these guys and they disappear. Like,
I'm really interested to know more about Clubber Lang because he shows up at that charity event in a tuxedo. Like, he's all decked out, and I'm sure you had to pay for like a huge ticket price to be there to watch Rocky fight Thunderlips.
Yeah. And then
what is the backstory of Clubber Lang? We need to explore this.
Clubber Lang is a badass dude from the streets of Chicago, probably in like Lincoln Park or something. And then he becomes a fighter, and he's a great fighter, and he doesn't fight no sit-ups like that chump up there. He fights real men.
He comes from actually an upper middle class family. They actually have one of the townhouses on Addison Avenue near Wrigleyville.
It's on the Miracle Mile.
He's got money.
He lives next door to the Buellers.
He's actually a.
Hey, Ferris, get off my lawn, sucker! I swear to God, if I see you on my trampoline again, boy, I'm gonna break your legs. Get the hell out of here, son.
Much like Worf having to figure out how.
Hey, fool! Why don't you go back to school, sucker? You ain't gonna learn nothing around here playing hooky.
You don't need no days off.
If I see that principal, I'm gonna tell him that you playing hooky, sucker.
Don't give him days off. Give him guts.
9 times. Give him go 9 times. I done saw it.
Clubber Lang had to learn how to be a tough guy from watching movies and watching TV and reading books, and that was what he thought someone from the South Side of Chicago acted like.
Listen here, Mr. Bueller. I seen your son. I know he didn't go to school again today.
Mr. T was a truant officer?
No, he's the neighbor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's Ferris. He said, listen here, Mr. Bueller. Your son didn't go to school today. He ain't going to do
He ran
nothing.
through my yard.
He ain't going to do nothing not going to school. He ran through my yard and interrupted my son's birthday party. I don't like that sucker. Columba Jr.'s in there, and he expected a clown to show up, and some dumb white man ran through the house, scared the shit out of the boy. I'm going to take you to court, and you can't fix my son's birthday, sucker. So you and me, we're going to tangle if this happens again. You tell that son and his dumbass friend Cameron that he need to go to school and learn some stuff, or he's going to end up mowing my grass because I'm Clubber Lang. I was once world heavyweight champion of the world, you understand? Hey, fool!
Start sitting on Ferris's girlfriend.
Hey, woman. Hey, Miss Bueller, listen here. Since your man ain't got no heart.
Why don't you come out in my house?
Would you bring a pretty little self by my apartment tonight? I'll show you a real man. But you lay in bed every night dreaming you had a real man, don't you?
I know you do. I watch you.
I'm a peeping Tom. I can afford top class surveillance equipment. I put it in everybody's
I'm a champion
house.
boxer.
No one suspects the champion boxer of being a weirdo.
And so Creed 2 promises.
Okay, so Ferris Bueller is after Rocky 3,
Yeah.
after he's made millions of
He's
dollars
made tons of money.
beating Rocky.
Because he lost to Rocky.
He buys a nice house in the suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah.
Well, he already had money. That was the family home. I mean, he inherited.
Hey, fool. I got this house from my parents once they passed away, you understand? Oh, my neighbors look at me funny. Say, who's this rich black man walking around here with a sweet haircut and earrings and all this diamonds hanging around my neck, sucker? They don't respect me. They will when I become mayor.
Mayor Lang.
Then he runs for mayor of the town. Hey, fool, gonna be some changes around here. You gonna make sure Ferris Bueller goes to school. Can't have these white kids running around the neighborhood. It's not good.
He assigns a police officer. Like, there's a beat, the Ferris Bueller beat.
Lowest property value.
To make sure he gets to school.
Having these young punks running around through the house, doing all kinds of crazy stuff just because they white kids, they get away with it. Black Lives Matter. I think about if that was my son running through somebody's house, the police have shot him. Shot him in the back. Don't give a sucker no statue, give him guts. Told you I wasn't going away. You got your shot, Ferris Bueller, now give him mine. Mayor Lang, do you have any predictions for your upcoming re-election bid?
Paid.
Paid for the constituents that don't vote for me.
Mayor Lang, what do you think about this primary challenge?
Don't give a sucker no
There's
statue.
no challenge.
There is no challenge.
What are you going to do about the gun violence?
Well, we don't really have a lot of those problems in this neighborhood, you understand, because it's an upper echelon community, and we got good schools, we got good people that are living in this neighborhood, you understand?
Except for Ferris Bueller. That motherfucker.
Ferris Bueller is a blight on society, you understand, and it's my job to personally.
The weirdest universes mashing up.
But I want to see it so bad.
And the fact, though, that
I don't care that Matthew Broderick's like almost 60. I want to see him play Ferris Bueller.
this episode of DS9.
He never moved out of his son's house. He's still living with his parents, and Ferris Bueller's a loser. Just like I told you what happened. I'm the 18-term mayor of this town. You understand? Ferris Bueller's still not going to school.
He's still making that synthesizer cough.
I mean, everybody knows that's a computer machine. He hasn't updated his technology. Because the real estate bubble burst, and his dad lost his job, and the housing market went to shit. So he couldn't sell no more houses, you understand?
Oh, my God.
Ferris Bueller working at the grocery store.
Now, would this movie be Ferris Bueller 2 or Clubber Lang 1?
I imagine it would be
Who's the star of this movie?
Clubber Lang.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Bueller versus Lang?
Yeah. It would be like that movie with Seth Rogen and the friend.
Bueller v. Lang, Dawn of Justice?
Yeah, something like that. And he tells, he knocks on Ferris Bueller's door.
Why'd you say the name, fool? Why'd you say the name?
Told you I wasn't
My
going
mother's
away.
name is Martha.
Yes, that's what happened.
Martha Lang.
So,
Of course, we meet his daughter in a later movie, Lana.
Yeah, exactly.
all right.
I'm spent.
Well,
I'd like to revise my score for the episode. It's definitely been bumped up now.
We missed the best part by leaving before this was all of the post credits.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know how we got started on Ferris Bueller and Mr. T living next door to each other.
Who knows how any of these things get started?
And
It's because this episode was described as the John Hughes episode.
That's right.
So we went straight to Shermer, Illinois. And,
so Ferris is doing punky stuff, and all of a sudden there's a knock on the door, and he opens the door, and he says, I told you I wasn't going away. What you was talking?
so
Hey,
check
boy.
out Creed
Hey,
2.
boy. Hey, boy. Hey, boy. After I crucify him, you next, Ferris Bueller. Me and Mr. Rooney, we're going to get you.
Mr. Rooney. Mr. Rooney's really going to get you.
Yeah. Mr. Rooney, he a pervert, you understand? We had to get rid of him. So Ivan Drago is the new principal of your high school. What you don't know about Ivan Drago is a world professional boxer, but also has a master's degree in education, you understand? School administration. He's a very smart man.
They have an excellent school system in Russia.
He's got steroids for the brain. All right.
Punch your brain to death.
No, but what I always imagined was happening is like Rocky isn't a real fighter in the sense that he's boxing month by month, every 3 months. Rocky's like Floyd Mayweather Jr., who comes out and just fights a big fight and then goes away and then fights.
This is like Rocky 3 on, right?
Yeah. So Clubber Lang's still out there every 3 months fighting at MGM or whatever. So he's making money and he loses to Rocky. But I mean, to be fair, everybody loses to Rocky. So, I mean, and he did beat him once, Apollo lost.
Well, he beat him, though, the first time.
No, it was a draw.
The second, but he got his revenge.
Wasn't it a draw? I thought the first fight.
No, he lost. He lost.
Okay. Yeah, so Apollo beats Rocky, and then Rocky beats Apollo, and then Rocky fights a bunch of losers, and then while he's fighting losers, sit-ups, them chumps. And so while he's fighting all the setup dudes, Clubber's kicking everybody's ass, and so, he fights all the time. He's a fighter. That's what he's doing,
Yeah.
You saw the montage. Yeah, he respects the craft. And he also invested in Five Guys Burgers and Fries. So he's got money, he
got in on the ground floor.
Yeah, he's like, look, sucker, I can't be fighting my whole life.
Yeah, Idaho potatoes. They're great.
Their potatoes came from Billings, Montana today, you understand? Not the best place for potatoes, but what do I know? I'm Clubber Lang. I just fight people. I don't know shit about potatoes.
They come in a brown bag. That's all I care about.
Hey, fool, these better be the finest
peanuts.
The peanuts is good. Now, if you have an allergy to them, you might not want to get near them. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, they really shouldn't keep those next to the door.
Because if you
keep
you wet.
It's like garlic for vampires.
Yeah. Because if you come in here and you have an allergic reaction to peanuts, I predict pain.
And lawsuits.
We had a sign.
Yeah. Said, hey, fool, don't come in here. You're allergic to peanuts. I told you I wasn't going away. I told you the peanuts weren't going away. Get your shot.
Somebody please make that poster. I'm going to put it on the Five Guys down the street from where I live.
That's what it says. It says, I told you the peanuts. Hey, fool, I told you the peanuts weren't going away. Make sure you bring your EpiPen shot. I'll give you mine. This episode.
Clubber Lang is seriously one of my favorite characters of all time.
Now, who would win in a fight, Clubber Lang or Ivan Drago? Because I know they fought somewhere along the lines.
I mean, I think Clubber Lang would beat him.
I think Drago wins.
If Rocky could beat him, then Clubber Lang could beat him. Because Clubber would prepare for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because Clubber definitely beats Tommy Gunn. Tommy Gunn's a chump.
Yeah.
In the streets, it doesn't matter where. To take him down.
In the streets or in the streets.
I'd be fighting everybody everywhere. All right. This episode's almost 2 hours long, so I think we should stop.
How long was the two-parter episode? Not nearly as long.
Jeez Louise. This episode's going. It's like pushing 2 hours.
Well, this is the second episode. The Lang versus Bueller episode.
I mean...
I was going to say, you might want to cut out the Bueller Lang stuff and just like that for the Patreons.
Maybe. Hey, boo!
If there's an edit point.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll find one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to the longest Dork Trick episode ever. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Adios.
Bye, fool.
Hey, sucker!